Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to call the June 10th, 2020 meeting for the Long Branch City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Vieira? Mr. Vieira?
Here. Sorry it took so long.
That's okay. Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
And Mr. Dangler?
Here. Can we now recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic which it stands,
Stands
one nation,
Under God,
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
visible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. We have two items that we need to pull from the agenda. Ordinance 18-20 and also Resolution 106-20. I'd like to ask Mr. Ray Known, the city attorney, if he could please just have a few words as to why we're pulling these.
Council President, both of these items involve requests that were made to the city for an approval. One was the ordinance was a request we received from a property owner to vacate a city right-of-way that was adjoining their property. And the second one was a request by the Promenade Beach Club to allow for a food cart, an ice cream cart, to be placed on their property on Ocean Avenue. Within the last day or so, I've received requests from both of the requesters that they be withdrawn. So we're asking that both of them be withdrawn from the agenda. The ordinance requires a formal vote to withdraw it, which should be done before any public hearing, and the resolution can just be withdrawn from the consent agenda.
Presentations, we have none. Reading and approval of the previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the May.
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
And Mr. Dangler?
Yes. Consideration of ordinances, public hearing and final consideration. This is the second reading of ordinance 1920 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 345, the code, the city of Long Branch, revising affordable housing development fees. This ordinance was introduced May 27th, 2020. I need a motion to open a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. If any member of the public has a comment to make regarding the ordinance, please dial *9 on your phone. A representative will call you back by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When you are called upon, state your name and address clearly for the record, and you will be given 5 minutes and may only speak once.
No hands are raised, Council President.
I need a motion to close the public portion of this.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. This is the third and final reading of ordinance 1920 entitled Ordinance Amending Chapter 45, the Code of the City of Long Branch, revising the Affordable Housing Development Fee Code. Need a motion to adopt the third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. I need roll call on that, please.
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes.
and Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Ordinance for introduction. This is the first reading. Ordinance 2020 entitled the calendar year 2020 model ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap. Bank NJSA 40A 4-4514. I need a motion to introduce the first reading and advertise and post it according to law and set a public hearing for June 24th, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Viera,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes.
and Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Public portion and resolution. Public participation and resolution for all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments. Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has a comment to make, please dial *9 on your phone and a representative will call you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When you're called upon, please state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Caller whose phone number ends in 198. Go ahead.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Ordinance 1820 removed. It doesn't end here. Believe me, it doesn't end here. You may withdraw on it, but the controversy surrounding this will continue. The withdrawal shows that the little guy has a chance to fight the wrongs of this city when he is represented by an honest attorney against this city. Palone, the city has proven the record that you are a lying and a backstabber. But to lie and backstab to your own tenant, who was directly affected by this ordinance, is about as low as it can get. I submitted an OPRA on May 15, 2020, requesting all contractual agreements and permits issued between the city and 10 Morel Street LLC, also known as Woolley Bugliosi Funeral Home. The response was no agreements, no permits. No permits can be produced for the following violations by Bugliosi. No permit issued for the paving of the right-of-way. No permit issued for putting landscaping in the right-of-way. No permit issued for putting pavement striping in the right-of-way. No permit issued for parking vehicles in the right-of-way. No permit issued for parking in a fire zone, which is the right-of-way. No permit issued for placing objects with the intent to obstruct pedestrian and vehicular traffic in the right-of-way. All in all, Bugliosi was using this right-of-way to enhance the profit for his business. Only until 3 weeks ago, when code enforcement was notified, did they arrive to the right-of-way and remove the obstructing objects, with a warning to Bugliosi not to do it again. Mayor Palone lives a few houses down from that right-of-way. Congressman Palone pays rent to Bugliosi as a tenant, with his congressional office across the street. I want to emphasize federal taxpayer dollars pay the rent to Bugliosi. The quid pro quo Palone's on tax abatements. So what was the Palone's quid pro quo on this? I caught you now like I caught you 7 years ago, Palone, when as a member of the Schneider Council, you attempted to move the city's economic development office from downtown to 505 Broadway, diagonally across from the Congressman Cologne's office, as a rental. So you could secure the mortgage for the purchase of that building, 505 Broadway, with the city paying the rent. How sweet it was until I caught you. Then everything was ended and buried. This ordinance 1820 may have been withdrawn, but we're done with this matter at all. This matter is going to get bigger and bigger. Now to another incompetent matter of this city of Long Branch. The planning board has a meeting scheduled next June 16th for the Jamal School application on Chelsea. The application that I caught the profuse mistake of ill-prepared members of the planning board and the incompetence of the planning board attorney with his very bad clown-like remarks. If the Three Stooges were a law firm, they would want nothing to do with how bad the planning board attorney is. I caught the Transit Village ordinance requiring Jamal's contribution in the amount of $450,000 that no appointed members of the board did their homework to search and find out.
Mr.
Now, as of the latest, thank you. Now, as the latest, you lowered that contribution to $165,000 via voodoo math. What's the quid pro quo in this one, Pallone? Jamal gets to park 30 cars on Chelsea with summer parking congestion, and the planning board's going to let him get away with it for $165,000 with no contribution to the Transit Village parking garage? And what about the affordable housing component on this? Aside from the developer's fees, there should be 3.5 to 4 units on that project. Isn't that what this country is all about right now in the past week? Social equity? But then we're the monument to the country with the biggest social inequity in the world. Pier Village with a 30-year tax abatement. We'll all be watching next Tuesday night, Pallone, to see how this quid pro quo turns out. Clerk,
you.
am I finished?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, caller whose phone number ends in 350. Go ahead.
This is the public comment portion.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Ernest McNolly, born in Long Branch, raised and live in Asbury Park now. So I have 5 minutes, and this is the public comment portion. Okay. So I want to pick up where I left off. I've missed a few meetings for technical reasons on your end, but I still want to get back to the thing. I'd like to know where, I believe it was $40,000 that the mayor and council allotted for an investigation of the Long Branch Police Department, and in particular, Chief Roebuck. And where is that? Where'd the money come from? Obviously, taxpayer money. But where's the result? How come we don't hear anything about that? And then I keep asking about why no one is saying or doing anything about the overturning in Superior Court of the conviction of a citizen at an open public meeting, well known, and in disfavor of the prosecutor, the lower court judges, which included, I think, Basson and another one. And then to go to Superior Court on appeal, they basically criminalized, at that time, Public Safety Director Roebuck. And here we are now with a magnificent, I sat in the courtroom listening to Judge O'Brien, and he all but pulled out the handcuffs for Mr. Roebuck. But what happens? Nothing. He comes back and more coronations, next he's going to take credit for the sunrise. That's what's next. We have problems in Long Branch. He figures out a way to take credit. We have cops coming off the hook, mental illness, suicide, sex crimes, drunk, drug addicts, killing people with cars. We open up a timeout room with Cabbage Patch dolls, and we brag about it. And we get the sheriff involved and the prosecutor involved. And then Roebuck again takes a bow. Oh, look what I'm doing for the city. Long Branch is the 25th of 565 municipalities, most violent, murderous place in Monmouth County. Right, in Monmouth County. In New Jersey, I'm sorry. 565 municipalities. Asbury's 2, Neptune is 15, Long Branch is 25. Now that's at the bottom, the most dangerous, violent, and yet, the prosecutor, the sheriff, the freeholders keep bragging. Oh, look what we're doing. Things are great here, but it's not supported by statistics. And then what do we have? City firemen, city police, city officials, all in mixed bags of politics. Who is headed to Wildwood and the White House? Who's sitting right next to the mayor trying to sabotage the mayor and his council? And the mayor doesn't have the acumen or the grit, whatever you want to call it, to realize he's surrounded himself with his most mortal political enemies. It is unthinkable. Remember, Mayor, when you were sworn in, they put the brooms in the entranceway to City Hall that you were going to sweep out, and we wouldn't know anybody working here anymore. You know what? Everybody's still here. And now what you've done is hire their kids. So now we have 3 generations. We go to a fire, there's the grandfather fighting it, the father fighting it, and the son fighting it. And 2 of them are paid firemen. I mean, what else can go wrong? The Long Branch police, look at these raises. For what? They're a roughneck group. They're going around sexually abusing people, drunk, stabbing people, killing people with cars, drunk
Mr.
COVID
McNally, 1
violations.
minute, sir.
I have 1 minute left, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate it. Developer fraud is out of control. It's gotten worse and worse and worse with this administration. We thought it was bad with the Schneider, but it's worse. Worse. Long Branch is being stolen from good families that I grew up with, good people in favor of unknowns from unknown destinations with bad intentions, coming here a few months and destroying our city with drugs, designer drugs, crime, corruption, drug dealing, etc. And the master development plan, you know, this thing with Mr. Renone, this new thing he's come up, bequesting, gifting, giving away all our land. You know, Mr. Renone, you turned out to be worse than Ansel Grammarian. I think you should take a bow for that.
Thank you, Mr. McNally, for your comments.
We have no other callers, Council President.
Do I need a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
So,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Resolutions, we can take the list of resolutions as a consent agenda. Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Viera,
yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes.
and Mr. Dangler.
Yes. Applications, we have none. Miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilman Vieira.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to thank the marchers, the police officers, for combining forces to bring awareness to this important topic on today's society, and for protesting peacefully. It's very important. Our town showed a model. And as we go forward, let's hope something comes out of this. For another note, the summer's here, we're very busy. So the beaches are crowded. So let's try to maintain our social distance as we do and have some patience. And thank you.
Councilwoman Vogt.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Councilman Vieira and our whole Portuguese community for a very heartwarming ceremony today to raise the Portuguese flag in honor of Portuguese Day. It was, like I said, heartwarming and a wonderful expression of diversity. We have always said for this administration. The diversity of our city is truly a strength and a lot to be learned from each community. So it was, Mario, great job. And it was an honor to be honoring the Portuguese community. With that, certainly the diversity brings a lesson to all of the issues that we're dealing with. And all of the good discussion that is happening also needs to translate into action. So I would just put out the word of our discussions are great. And at a certain point, our discussions need to lead to action. And I hope our action gets as much emphasis as our discussion. So with that, thanks to everyone for joining us this evening. And that's all I have to say.
Councilwoman Wiz.
Yes, I would like to also say that, we're going through very difficult times right now. And I just wish everyone to continue to stay safe and be well. And thank you for listening this evening.
Thank you. Councilwoman Selly.
Good evening. I have three things I'd like to say tonight. First of all, I'm very, very proud of Long Branch for the peaceful demonstration that we had. I think we set a mark for our city. Second of all, I would like everyone to know that tonight we introduced the 2020 budget, and it has a flat tax rate. I hope everybody is listening so they understand that there should not be any tax increase. And the third thing, most of all, happy Father's Day to all. Thank you very much, Council President.
Thank you. Mayor Pallone.
Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Selly just indicated, Council has introduced the budget for 2020 this evening with a flat tax rate for this year, and that's for the second year in a row. Also being introduced in the municipal budget are capital improvements for a number of projects. This includes the road improvement program to repave roads, fixing drainage, and beautification throughout the city. In improvements to Jackson Woods and around Tackanasset also in the plans. And the city is also not making any cuts to the staffing of city employees while maintaining this flat tax rate, and all while improving our municipal services. Outdoor dining will start this coming Monday, June 15th. To date, we have about 35 restaurants who've applied for outside dining. We've been actively working with our business community, restaurants and retail to help as much as we can during this next phase. If you're a business owner, please reach out to our community development department for assistance. You can reach them at 732-923-2040. We're excited for the comeback our city will be making. As part of that, we'd like our residents to know that Brighton Avenue will be closed in West End on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's from Ocean Boulevard to Sayers Avenue, starting on June 19th to accommodate more outside dining. So Brighton Avenue will basically become a pedestrian walkway during those hours. Pier Village will also not have any changes to traffic flow, but some parking spots may not be available, again, also to help with expanded outdoor seating. Next week, we'll be releasing our Hometown Heroes tribute video. More information about that will be out on our social media and website this week. And we're very happy that the city is now in possession of the Bank of America building. Renovations will start next month. Thank you to Bank of America for giving us this beautiful historic building, as will be our community development department and the new Long Beach Community Arts Center. Community is still operating and meeting on a regular basis. They are planning events for October Tonight, we passed a resolution in support of Pride Month and the LGBTQ community. If you're interested in participating in community, please contact Robin Camp at media@aol.com. And finally, Shore House asked that we let our residents know that they moved to 266 Broadway as of May 1st.
Yes.
Very nice facility there. They're still closed to members and are operating on a virtual clubhouse via Zoom. When the members return, it will be their new home, new clubhouse. And Shore House is very happy to stay in Long Branch. And with that, I would just like to wish everybody a great week, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I want to say is the administration, mayor and council is still committed to our residents. And I'm proud, as the rest of us, to say that we have no tax increase for the second year with the pandemic and the way things are. Everyone is suffering at some level. So we certainly did as good as we could to not increase taxes and put more of a burden on the residents here in Long Branch. In regards to the protests, I've already made that statement on our website, but yes, we definitely set an example. You have such a large crowd and a peaceful crowd, and I'm very proud, but now it is time for call to action. So I can say on behalf of the council that we are committed to moving forward and to have a better relationship between the police and the residents of Long Branch, all the residents of Long Branch, certainly the people of color. But we just need to come together, and as we can open up the number of people that can gather inside, soon we will have other meetings of call to action, and we want to have some residents from Long Branch there, some elected officials, some of those leaders, and those who are not leaders, just residents with concerns and maybe even had issues with police. So we can have some honest and open dialogue and move forward. And with that being said, please enjoy the weekend. Hopefully it'll be nice and sunny, and just be safe. And thank you all, and God bless you. I need a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good night, everybody. Be safe.
Good night.
Good night.
Be safe.